We're coming out dangerous.
Rockets going off.
Sometimes the brightest stars shine for the shortest amount of time.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They heard us all across Tallahassee after that one.
We got to bring home the W.
Oh yeah, we're gonna destroy them.
Put them on the Heisman watch.
They're fine, man.
Big Ben Player of the Year.
We're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I played a little adult league goalie.
I felt like I scored in the World Cup, but I didn't even score.
Controversy? Question mark?
Pure chaos.
To go crazy was insane.
Chris Petley, he was the defensive MVP of the 2019 season.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in my prime right now. Let's go.
And welcome back to the TallySCtalk podcast. Another edition in. Thanks for coming back. Trent Joop, Trent Young, bringing it to you, the voices of TSC, and of course the hosts of the TSC podcast, TallySCtalk. Trent? And we jumpstart into half number 2, try to get this thing rolling because we still got 45 minutes. Still got 45 minutes to try to right the ship, if you will. Down one, salvage some points.
So coming out of the half, there was another really good link-up play between Cy and Johnny Up in the box. The Roots, unfortunately, did clear the ball, but then a couple minutes later, in the 49th minute, the ball dropped to Ricardo Smith, number 9 of the Roots, the one we mentioned earlier. Turns and fires, and he just missed the upper 90. I mean, he was inches away. And from going up 4-2 on us in the second half. So that was a very lucky chance for us.
He was a weapon, and he was dangerous, and I don't know who their man in the match is, but he would definitely be one of my considerations on the offensive side. Of course, he got the goal, the third one, the crucial one to give them the lead, but he was just a physical presence. He was a ball winner. He was an aggressor on the front line, and he was getting after it. He was definitely causing some trouble. One of the older guys on a very young Roots team, but he was somebody who was getting after it consistently. But yeah, coming out of halftime, we had a late first half substitute and then 2 more at halftime. So basically 3 new guys come the second half. We had Cole Red on, we had Brandon Krembeck get back in goal, and then we had Nick Ramsden come on. So Wimberly, Herrera, and Daunt sat for the second half. But the approach didn't really change much. You know, they kind of filtered in, and we kind of swapped some guys around. Cole goes to the back line. Ramsden goes up top. We switch a couple other guys. Obviously, Krembeck's going back in goal. But the mentality, the execution, and the approach that we talked about that was really built in the first half, I think continued cleanly because, you know, you've got 3 guys in here. You have 3 new guys coming into the fold, Trent, which is over 25% of the team being flipped out. But smooth transition, and the mission is the same, and we continue on the same path. And I don't think there was really any disservice or any choppy momentum or an adjustment period of these guys coming into the ballgame, which you absolutely love. Once again, harping on that theme of consistency and a great approach and a ball club who's focused on the same goal. And if this can stay the narrative for the 12 regular season games that are still to come and potentially 4 playoffs and onward in the U.S. soccer pyramid scheme that TSC is a part of, I mean, this could be a dangerous club, man, but I really love the transition snapping back there, and we continue to attack, Trent, and eventually our efforts were rewarded.
Doesn't Cy just dueling it out, fighting for the ball inside the box, trying to go one-on-one with the keeper at all times. Just got around his man, and his defender had no choice but to foul him. I mean, he immediately pled his case, but to no avail. It was awarded a penalty kick. And, yeah, that was huge for us because obviously we were looking for at least one more goal to at least salvage a point on the road. You go up 2-0, and then you're down 3-2. I mean, you're just praying to at least get a draw. That penalty kick was taken by Jacob Schmilker, the captain, and he slotted it home like a true pro. So nice veteran play there. Just kept his head down, ripped it back post, and, yep, nothing the keeper could do. So that was a sigh of relief, you could say.
Got him. There you go. But, yeah, that was, once again, build up from the back. That was coming off Krembeck's service. He gets into the top line. I think it was Osgood that flips it on. Like you said, Cousin Cy gets on the end of it, makes a move, boom, gets taken down. Like you said, Schmoker buries it back in the net. The old vet went the full 90, by the way. How about that? Schmoker going wire to wire. But yeah, it was kind of a funny interaction. Not to downplay or give shade to anybody, but it was just humorous knowing those soccer interactions. Like, most teams of guys that are comfortable, your team leader or your captain, the guy that's going to be taking the PK, right? And so Osgood's walking to the spot like he's going to take it, and then Schmoke comes out. Nah, I got this. Daddy's going to take care of business right here. Let me clock in. Buries it, opens up the hips, goes to his right. Keeper not even close, guesses wrong. Like you said, a veteran finish, Trent. That was just like a little sidebar narrative that I kind of made in my own internal dialogue. But that was funny to see. A little humorous moment. Once again, no shade. So there we go, man. That would be the tying goal. So it's 3-3. We now have 4 scorers in this season, Trent. All 4 different guys. And we actually lead the Gulf Coast Conference here in the South region of the NPSL in goals for, my man. 4 goals for, baby. Nobody else has notched that mark. So that was pretty exciting. And like you said, Trent, small scale. We tied it up, man. Now let's go forward. Let's keep marching. Let's steal these 3 points now that we think we have a 1 point here secured. Let's keep on marching forward after that 58th minute goal because we still have 30 plus to keep this thing rolling.
And just a couple minutes later, 63rd minute, Fitzgerald with a free kick from about 25 yards out. So I know I mentioned Jacob Schmoker was our set piece specialist, but in some certain scenarios, we're going to be having Fitzgerald come on. He almost had the goal, should have had the goal. Hits Levy Masimba on the head perfectly in stride, just jumps up, times his run, and gets ahead on it, but inches over the bar, almost kind of eerily similar to Cousin's size, missed earlier in the match. I thought that was going to be the one. Very tough break there for the Battle Lions, but still really good showing that we can attack off of just about any set piece in the attacking third and at least put a shot, if not on goal, near goal.
Yeah, that was something consistently. We talk about the themes of the match or progress that we saw, things ongoing, positives to take away. First of all, like you said, whether the service was coming from Fitzgerald or Schmoker, phenomenal service, start to finish, all game long. Second half, the balls were getting to 4 heads, and these guys were getting on top of it. They were fighting off their men. Levy was absolutely killing it in the air. He got on the end of a lot of balls. We saw a couple late substitutes, which we'll get into. Laird, when he came in, he had a couple good looks. And we talked about Monroe in the air as well. But this is a team, a noted improvement from week 1. A lot of those aerial balls that Jacksonville was winning week 1, we really took the stronghold of that here in week 2 on the road. And I think that was a big jump start for this team. And just one of those continuing things is we're going to keep feeding this, and these balls are going to start to go in. Once we kind of get the groove and get the feel of everybody and get into that mid-season form, we're creating chances. And it felt like we were at a 3-1 or 4-1 rate of these chances getting in. I know it's something we talked about a little earlier, whether it's the long throw, whether it's a cross coming in, whether it's a shot on target, maybe not necessarily on target or shots, but chances getting into the box. And these are all things that put pressure on the defense. And pressure's cumulative, Trent. We all know that. It builds and builds and builds and builds, and you're just waiting for the breakthrough. And so obviously a number of breakthroughs here today, but once again, just kind of a big picture thing that was going forward. And yeah, I think that was about 65th minute that you were talking about. One of those instances, another funny one coming forward in the 68th minute. You had a little confusion on a free kick after the game was tied 3-3. The referee signals a Florida Roots fair kick, kind of looks around, talks to one of the players, switches it. He signals it's a Tallahassee free kick, and then kind of looks around, talks to another player, and then signals back that it's a Florida Roots field kick. So in the sequence of events, it's a signal Florida Roots. Oh, wait, re-acknowledge. Signal Tallahassee. Oh, wait, re-acknowledge. Signal Roots. It's just a funny sequence once again, piling on there, but still maintaining at 3-3. And then we head into the water break. So now we're coming out on the other side, Trent, of the water break. Here still at 3-3, so continuing to push forward and go for it. At this point, in the 65th minute, we've had Mason Solari come in for Osgood. Shortly after the water break in the 74th, we had Bennett Mitchell come in for Mike Zamore. So once again, this is the 4th and 5th new player to come into the game. Once again, keeping the narrative. No choppiness, no awkward transition phase. These guys slid right in, and we continued to take care of business, staying on that front foot and attack. And I'm looking down the list, Trent. It's about every 90 seconds to 2.5 minutes. There's a TSC chance that you can kind of put on the board or say, man, we really put something together. We were really going after it. And that's one thing that I was appreciative of is 65th minute plus. We're still attacking. We're still going after it. And these guys are chasing. These guys aren't sitting on the tie. They don't want to go to Panama City. Oh, we got the tie. We're away. We'll take that. They're going for it, man. They're playing catch up and they're trying to get these points. And that's something that I appreciated. And we saw some more good service, and the play continued here after that second water break.
So just to go back, really the mantra of this entire game, and something that lacked a little bit in the first match, is there weren't as many clear-cut chances. Whether, like you said, maybe it isn't exactly a shot on goal, or maybe it doesn't even come to a shot at all, but they're still in the attacking third inside the box, just a move or two away from getting the goal. And so that was the battle lines throughout the entire match. So I was very thankful for them kind of bringing their attacking boots out to Panama City and really just pushing forward and not taking a draw for an answer. And so it was unfortunate that they had to play so difficult there in the last 20, 30 minutes and just really give their all, but just to go back to the officiating, that took them out of it. They really didn't have any other choice but to throw the contingency at them at that time. But like you said, everybody who was subbed in, there wasn't any lapse in play. It was very fluent the entire match. And these guys have, it feels, defined roles within the formation. They get in there and they know exactly what they need to do. And yeah, just somebody who I think kind of gets overlooked because he's on the back line would be Joe Peralta. I think he is kind of the epitome of that when it comes to this team. And he almost got a goal right past the water break. 74th minute, right after the water break. So just a couple minutes, 2-3 minutes after. Dyke has inside with a great service into the box. Joe Peralta got a shot on goal, but was blocked, unfortunately. But still, just putting shots on goal in the 74th minute. So getting up as a defender into the box, get the shot on goal was very huge there for him. And kind of the player he is, anything he needs to do. It's really exciting to see him get up and almost get that goal. I know in the interview you did, David Moreau said he was going to get one goal this season. Just 3 days later, he got one there in Panama City. It looked like Peralta was going to get one as well.
Everybody on that back line trying to get paid. They want to score goals too, Trent. That's not just an offenders thing. But yeah, you talked about it. More people coming in, the narrative continues. 78th minute, Christian Winuck comes in. He'll take out Ramsden. Instantly after that, seconds, he throws a gorgeous service ball up top to the Simba. Levy's chasing it down. Keeper comes all the way out. It was actually a good save by the keeper. Very decisive. He goes and gets it early. He knows he's got to get it. It's way wide, but it's in the box. And if Levy gets on the end of that, man, that's going to be dangerous. We had numbers pushing forward, but once again, just a narrative of whoever's coming into this ball game is making an impact. You go down a couple minutes later, Laird comes in the 83rd minute, and then he has two great chances, one of which I thought was the one, man. I thought that was the crowning moment. And then you really want to see him get one. He's one of those guys that's really easy to root for, but I mean, he'll come in immediately. He comes in at 83rd minute. 86th, there's a service down on that far side right in front of the TSC bench. This is one of the oldest guys on the field, and he's ripping down the sideline. Like he said a couple weeks ago when we interviewed him, Trent, he still got it. So he goes and gets it, but then he gets blasted and fouled. But because of his effort, he forces the foul, and once again, Trent, it presents us with an opportunity. Gets TSC a chance. Smoke throws it in the service, gets into the 6-yard box. Levy has a chance at it, and once again, an opportunity to get on goal. And this is Levy after he just got rocked on a foul. We talked about him being a marked man. I mean, he just gets smashed on one of those sequences. I forget exactly what minute it is around, but I think it's a 76 minute right before Christian comes up, but he's on the defensive side of the field, I believe. And he was just on the end of the service, but he just got blasted. And so this is after he's been limping back, trying to get back on the offensive end, and still on a dinged-up leg, he elevates, gets over everybody, and has a chance to get it. Just again, Warriors mentality. Levy here back on Saturday, continuing to go through, and we saw chance after chance after chance, man. We had an 86-minute chance. We had the free kick in the 87th minute. We had an 89th minute that was off the Monroe throw that I thought was going to get in. We had the 89th minute where Cole Red gets deep into the territory and he smashes it in 6 yards out, and it gives Laird a header. You think about every single instance down the stretch, every 90 seconds or so, these guys are back on the offensive end and we got a chance at goal. Just relentless effort going forward. So once again, it just gives you a lot of pride and makes you proud, and a lot of times you can get obsessive or whatever as a fan, but it's just cool to see these guys giving it their all, man. You respect them. You respect them for that. It's something you can wear honor through them. You haven't done anything. I sat in front of a TV for 2 hours, of course, watching the away feed, but was able to get a lot of pride because of what these guys were doing. It's about these guys and coach and the volunteers and everybody in it. It's not about us. We don't do anything. These guys are going out, take care of business, man. Just shout out to those guys, man. All 18 that were there on Saturday going for the 90 minutes, and then all the guys in training during the week, probably the 40 or so with this TSC squad, but just makes you proud to root for them. But I guess anything from you down the stretch, Trent? I know I kind of just went on a wild roller coaster, ripped through a large part of the end of that game, is not to glaze over or anything, but there were a lot of chances getting through there.
No, just the one thing that stuck out to me, and I remember mentioning it to you, when Justin Laird in the 86th minute tracked that ball down, I remember saying he's the epitome of a Justin Laird play. I mean, this is a guy who's literally played all over the world. And he's just a wily veteran. I mean, he's 27. He's taken a couple years off. Man, he turned on the burners there, tracked that ball down, put himself in a great position to shield the ball, get fouled, and almost resulted in the goal. Very unfortunate, but just making his minutes count. I think you said he got subbed in there in the 83rd or something like that, only 7-8 minutes. Back to those referees that we love to dog today. I mean, they only played, 36 seconds of stoppage time? So, I mean, that was just astonishing. I mean, get on him, Jupe. Let me know how you felt about that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because that's what I was looking at it. There were so many yellow cards. Well, first of all, you had the penalty kick, which takes some time, that TSC had. Obviously, the goal took some time, and then I think 3 yellow cards in the second half also takes some time. But all the infractions, all the delays that we had in that second half, and you're telling me there's 36 seconds of stoppage time? That was another thing. Once again, I feel like if we play 100 minutes, we win this match, man. Like we talked about last week, we tie that match if we play 100 minutes. If we played 100, man, we would have won that. So, once again, that's not the rules of the game. And so, that was unfortunate, but man, they were pressing for it. But 36 seconds of stoppage time is ridiculous. I haven't seen that ever. Reminded me of when I was refereeing for the 6 and 7-year-olds. It's like, well, coming up on game time, I'm not getting paid for stoppage time, so we're cutting this game short. And so, bam, whip that whistle. Maybe the referee just wanted to get out of there, Trent. Maybe that's the story we're not unpacking. And he's just like, man, like people are getting pissed. And so he's hitting the road.
Yeah, not to interject and cut you off or anything, but yeah, that was one thing I noticed. And I feel like he didn't make a lot of calls against TSC, or I should say for TSC. He made a lot of calls against TSC, rather, because he got a lot of slack from the fans, and it just seemed like he was just tired of getting slack from the fans. And so the second he got to blow his whistle real quick 3 times and get on out of there, he was going to. And wow, 36 seconds. I mean, I couldn't believe that. Like you said, at least 3 yellow cards, there was a goal. So I would have thought that it would have been at least 2 minutes. But yeah, that was pretty astonishing.
It makes you wonder if that was the discussion going on at the water break. If they were in Tallahassee, they'd be rolling over to Big Corey's Country Cooking and get that meal. And it's just like, yo, guys, we're going to, stop at whatever restaurant, but we're going to stop at the next town over. So let's rip this game. We're going to run less than a minute stoppage time. Boom. We're not even going to go to the locker rooms and change. We're going straight to the cars. We are gone. And yeah, they were out of there, out into the night, back on the road. But that was another point of emphasis. Yeah, of course, with the 36 seconds of stoppage time. And you can look it up. You can calculate it because, of course, they stopped the clock at 2 minutes. So you can't go off that, Trent. But since we were watching the feed, I was able to take a screenshot or an instance of time at that point in time and track it forward to where we were to make those calculations. So if anybody wants to go back and check my math, you can look it up. If you're looking at the feed on my Cuju, whatever it's called. The 2-minute mark hits exactly on the feed at 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 11 seconds. The game ends. The referee blows his whistle at 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 47 seconds. So you, of course, subtract the 2 minutes left of actual game time to get you to the full 90. So that puts you at 2:30:11. So you add 36 seconds, and that's when the final whistle blows at 2:30:47. So once again, we severely encourage you to go back and check these for yourself and not just take our word for it. But these are all documented things, man. Just like David Monroe scoring a goal at 18 years, 101 days, man. These are all things that have been thoroughly backed up through research, Trent. And obviously have some bias, but 36 seconds of stoppage time, man. Goodness gracious. But any other, I guess, in-game stuff that's on your mind, Trent?
Yeah, just wanted to give a shout out to everybody who played. Like you said, all 18 players who made the trip out to Panama City got to play, so that was really cool. Last thing I really have was they were supposed to have U19 tryouts. They were postponed, I believe. So next Monday, if you're between the ages of 15 to 19 years old, you can come on out, try out, and be a part of this team and help grow the community. So we encourage all of you to do that if you're listening at home and meet those age requirements. But yeah, other than that, just an excellent showing from the Bat Alliance to get a point on the road, and hopefully we can get 3 points this upcoming week.
So that'll kind of recap or put a bow on going back through the 90 minutes, Trent. Well, 90 minutes and 36 seconds. And so as we get out of the game recap, we can transition, Trent, one of our favorite new segments here, something that we like to do, basically our shout-out portion here. Our stars of the match, players of the game, our big three, whatever you like to talk about, however you like to phrase that.
Star attraction. Star.
The stars of the game here for TSC.
Star attraction.
Trent, I'll let you start.
All right, Joop, sounds good. So I'm going to go ahead. I think we should give the listeners a little familiarity, some consistency. My third star of the game, getting 1 star this week, is Drew Dodd, the former McClay Marauder. Just an excellent 45 minutes. I know I love to pick these players that don't play the full 90 for mine, but you know, just I don't know if he physically couldn't go the full 90 minutes. I mean, we have no idea if he was banged up the first half there. Just a great showing from him. Thought he played great in the attacking third as well as the defensive third and was just all over the pitch as always. So, Drew Don, shout out, baby.
No argument there, my man. No argument there. So you go from one of the youngest guys, and I'm going to go to one of the oldest guys, if not the oldest guy on the team. Schmoker, phenomenal game, facilitating there. He's going to be my third star of the game. Beautiful service on a lot of the free kicks. Obviously buries the penalty, gets on the score sheet. He's now one of 4 different Battle Lions to be on the score sheet. The wily vet Trent goes wire to wire, like we said, all 90 minutes. I know I could not physically go 90 minutes out there, Trent, so that in of itself is an accomplishment. But yeah, really great game from him, and love to continue to see him and his experience and some of the intangibles he brings to the table in pairing this with some of the younger guys on the team, and it's just one of the really fun dynamics within this squad. So give me Schmoker as my number 3 guy. Who you got on your other side, Trent? Give me your 2-star guy here.
Levi Nasimba, just a workhorse the full game. Definitely tracking back on defense, doing his fair share back there, but just somebody who sparked the offensive attack. Won a lot of balls with the header, got the assist to Monroe. Just can't harp on him and his work ethic enough. I mean, just a very lengthy player, very quick, pacey player, and just a very dominant player at the end of the day. So I was really excited to see him get put into that number 9 role, the main forward up top. Not only did his fair share of shooting, set his teammates up to do their shooting as well. That's what I have for number 2. What about you, buddy?
Yeah, phenomenal game from Levy once again. Also, great game in Jacksonville for sure. He's going to get his, Trent. And he is someone who's been so close so often. It's almost like a well. Once the well strikes water, Trent, I think it's going to flow, and he's just going to be a goal-scoring machine. So really looking forward to that. Wouldn't bet against him to get one in the next one. So my number 2 guy, give me David Big Throw Monroe coming in. Of course, played the second half last week, but a phenomenal performance for David. Of course, the Lincoln grad. Unofficially the youngest scorer in TSC history. Like we said, shout out Dave, 18 years, 101 days, and able to bury it in the back of the net for an important second goal that really kind of put our stamp on the game and gave us a little leeway as it would turn out to be Trent. But yeah, Big Throw Monroe is going to be my 2-star guy. Who's your top dog, man? Who's number 1 in the hood?
Yeah, Jupe. So if you have listened this far in the podcast, you know that we are huge fans of my personal cousin, Cy. And all of his talents in soccer and in life. He is definitely going to be my number 1 3-star player, man of the match. Great match from Cousin Cy. Speaking of records, David Monroe, Big Throw Monroe, being the youngest player to score a goal. Well, Cy scored the fastest goal in team history, just a mere 22 seconds within the first minute. So just an incredible showing from him. I mean, it didn't stop there. He drew the penalty late and shielding the defender when Fitzgerald hit that free kick and it could have gone in, should have gone in. It actually went in, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, I mean, just a great showing from Cy, not only shooting the ball, but distributing to his teammates as well. What about you, Jupe? Who you got for number 1, man?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, how can you argue with Coach, right? And the team player of the game, so stick with that. I like getting Cousin Cy the nod there. I'm a 3-star guy, top dog. Stars of the match, you got to go with Johnny B. Good, Fitzgerald, Trent. Like we said, really a glue in the midfield and really connected the phases of the game and just the ability to facilitate, because we know the talent, we know the attacking prowess on this team, but to set those guys up, when you get these guys in lanes and you're on the same page, and the offensive strike force that we had of those kind of attacking mids or those wingers, you know, kind of so to speak, and Levy, I mean, that is a dangerous foursome, man. You talk about Levy, you talk about Corey, you talk about Cy, and you talk about, of course, Johnny. So I got to give him the nod. A lot of great setups working with him and just some great play. Of course, the nastiest move I've seen all season. Of course, a young season at that, but in quite some time with that little in and out, I think right around the 20th minute. But once again, just kind of showcasing their performance there. So I got to give it to Johnny B. Good, Fitzgerald. Phenomenal performance. All right, Trent. So excellent there. Our 6-pack of stars, 3 apiece of the match. Of course, can't discount the rest of the 12, man, but wanted to give a shout out to those boys going forward. So those are our stars of the match, Trent. Let's go forward and get a little recap. Of course, had some predictions going into the match on Saturday. Where did we stand? Are we getting worse? What's going on with that, man?
I think we're getting a little closer. So I called the first game, if I'm not mistaken, 4-2. That was a little off. It ended up being 2-1 the other way. But this game, I called 3-2, ended up being 3-3. Could have very well ended as a 3-2 result. Could have ended as a plethora of results as we've gone through, as you've heard. But yeah, no, that was a little bit closer than what we had last week, or at least what I had last week. I believe you had the 3-1 prediction for this week. Battle Lions being victorious. So you were close on our goals. We did get 3 goals, absolutely, but unfortunately gave up 3 as well. So getting a little bit closer on those predictions. Hopefully we can get week 3's scoreline correct. But yeah, still improvement is improvement. So
anything else before we ride out into the sunset until the next episode?
Could have been 3 points very easily. Unfortunate to walk away with just 1, but hey, 1 is better than none. So
this is true. 1 is better than none, Trent. And just for those of you, a little push of optimism as we kind of wrap things up here. 2019 season, TSC also went on the road, able to secure a draw, lost at home the next week. So, through 2 weeks of action, they were also 0-1-1, 1 point on the table as we are here in 2021, Trent. We know how that movie ended as Eastern Conference champions. To be determined, no spoilers here yet. So, exciting, long way to go. 12 regular season matchups here, man. So, it'll be exciting going forward.
I believe that will do it for us here at the TallySCtalk podcast. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, if you have any mailbag questions, concerns, you can hit us up. That is TallySCtalk@gmail.com. We will definitely give you a shout out, read it here on the show. But that'll do it over here from me, Trent Young, and Andrew Joop. We'll see you later.